two problems with my new Ram 1500. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Rob Motive FST. And that's right, there are one problem that I've had with my brand new Ram 1500. One is really more of a little bit of an annoyance. Now, first of all, let me give you a little bit of history. This is my second Ram truck. My first was a Ram Rebel several years ago. Loved the truck, it was awesome. And to be honest, I kind of got rid of it because I was a little fearful about its reliability long term. Now, I don't know if that was justified, if it was founded. I didn't have the truck a real long time, so I was just a little fearful, I suppose. So, it's been years. I decided to trade off the Tundra. That's right, if you didn't know, I had a Toyota Tundra that I traded off to get this truck for a few different reasons, and I'll go into that later on if anybody's interested in the in-depth reason as to why I traded off the Tundra for the Ram. So anyway, I had a Ram Rebel, and I did have a few issues with that truck. Mostly were cosmetic. Across the tailgate, there was a crack in the corner of the cap. You know, there's a plastic cap on there. That wasn't a real big deal. I did have it replaced at the dealership, no questions asked, the way it should be. And then I had noticed that the fender trim, the little trim pieces around the fenders, if you will, had started to pull away a little bit. You know, they're just held on by adhesive. And I was looking at those one day, actually I think it was when I was washing the truck, and I noticed they had kind of started to separate. A little bit of dirt had gotten in there, and I didn't really dig that. I didn't do anything about it because, frankly, it wasn't severe. It's not something that I would have taken back to the dealership and demanded that they fixed. The dealership probably would have looked at me and said, "Really? Are you kidding me?" But I'm picky when it comes to these kind of things. So there was that issue. Now, the bigger of the three, and there were only three if I recall, was the radio. Again, the MOPAR radio. For some reason, every MOPAR vehicle I've had, Jeep and the Ram, I had a black screen radio. Now, in the Ram Rebel, it was a little more severe than that because not only was the screen black, but so was the gauge cluster area, because all of that was electronic, digital, LED, whatever. There was a time where I was going to the gas station. I was leaving from home, and the screen was black. Everything was black. So I didn't want to screw with it. I went ahead. I went to the gas station. No speed limit or anything. No gauges, no radio. Went into the gas station, came back out, turned the truck on, and everything was fine. And I never had a problem with it again. Now, I don't know if somehow in Mopar's electronics, after you drive it for a while, there's a reset. Maybe there was an update. I don't know what happened. It was never explained. And as I mentioned, I never had that problem again. But it was just a weird little hiccup. So let's fast forward to this truck. This is a 2022 Ram, what do they call it? A Lone Star. I believe it's a Ram 1500 Bighorn Lone Star. I think that's the full name, the proper name of the truck. So, two problems that I've had. Again, one's a problem, one's really a little bit of an annoyance. We'll start with the annoyance, and I'm going to pull you off the screen to show you this. I'm going to try to do this. There is the rear view mirror. You guys can see right there. Hopefully that comes out. There it is. I can actually see the camera in the mirror. But the problem I have, and I don't know if you guys can tell from the mirror itself, but it's kind of small, kind of petite. It's what I noticed right away when I got in the truck. We have this big behemoth truck, and the Ram 1500 is a large truck, but it has this teeny tiny rear view mirror in it. Now, it's not so much that the mirror itself is small, it's the viewing area that it gives you. I would say that in a truck, it's probably the smallest mirror I've ever had. And it just feels like I can't see as much as what I could in the Tundra, for example. Like my field of view is reduced. And it is, of course, because that mirror is smaller. Now, I don't know why. I don't know if Ram did that, intentionally to give you more view, unobstructed view out of the windshield. But it's up there. It's at the top of the windshield. So I don't think it really matters. And all it really needs is to be a little bit wider. It's just odd to me how narrow or how small it is. It just doesn't fit the truck aesthetically or functionally, because as I mentioned, it limits the view area that I have behind me. It's kind of strange. I don't understand. Maybe they did it that way because if it were wider, all you would see is the blocked areas in the truck. So I'm not quite sure why it's that way. Again, it's not really a problem. It's just more of an annoyance and a difference from what I was used to in the Toyota Tundra and even the older Fords that I had. Now, the real problem that I've had, again, has to do with the radio, the infotainment system. Now, I did not have a black screen per se when I started up the truck or as I've been driving around, well, sort of, or anything like that. I was at Lowe's. I always pull through the spot and then I back up. And I use the backup camera to line up my bumper with the back line so that I'm not hanging over and I'm not too far out into the driving area. So that's what I did. I pulled in, I flipped it to reverse, and it said that the backup camera was not available. What? Why wouldn't it be available? Didn't make any sense to me. So I did it a few times. I turned it back to drive, pulled forward again because, I had backed up a little bit. And same thing. I got the message every time that the backup camera was not available. Now, I went in, I came back out, I started the truck, so it sat for a little bit. It certainly had plenty of time for all the systems to shut down, and it worked just fine. And it's worked just fine ever since that happened. But again, another weird little thing with the MOPAR radio, albeit this time the backup camera part. Gotta say, love the radio otherwise. I mean, it's a good size screen. It's the 8.4-inch screen, nice and bright and colorful and clear, and the camera works perfectly when it works, but just a weird little gremlin type thing. So I'm curious, if you've got a Ram, and it probably doesn't matter what model, have you ever had that happen? Have you ever had it tell you that the backup camera was not available? And did you ever discover why? Why was it giving you that message? Was there some reason, or it's just a mystery? I'd be curious to know. Leave a comment. Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels. Rob Motive, all about my 2021 Toyota Tacoma. And Rob Motive JT, all about my 2020 Jeep Gladiator. Check them out, and if you're interested, why not subscribe? Don't forget to click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And do me a favor, smash that subscribe button on the way out. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.